Hey, I think I'm live. All right. Welcome, everybody. The Kirin Rise University Facebook site here. Sorry, this is the first time I've done live in a long time on YouTube.
Sorry, this is the first time I've done live in a long time on YouTube. Sorry, this is the first time I've done live in a long time on YouTube. Sorry, this is the first time I've done live in a long time on YouTube. Sorry, this is the first time I've done live in a long time on YouTube.
Hold on a second. Okay. Whoa. What happened? Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. I didn't realize I was having two of those things on right now. Sorry. All right, now it's officially 11 o'clock, so it's officially live. And good morning, everybody. I know this was like unexpected, but I usually update on this day at 11 a.m. regularly in Chicago. And I'm trying a live stream for the first time. Maybe I'll do this more regularly. Hey, Joe, what's going on? And depending, I'm not sure how many people will be on or whatever, because this is really an awkward time to do a live stream because most people usually do work around this time. But regardless of the fact, we can go over some stuff regarding Wing Chun. If you have questions, comments, and concerns, definitely just ask them, and I'll be happy to do it. Otherwise, I'll go over some stuff regarding Wing Chun, and we can go over it. First of all, if you haven't done so already, all the stuff below, social media, I don't think I have anything below. But regarding all my stuff regarding social media and so forth, Facebook, Instagram, definitely the premium side as well. You're more than welcome to join and ask questions and so forth. All right. Hope everyone's been enjoying the videos that I've been doing. I've tried to be doing it on a more consistent basis. So I'll go over some stuff with Wing Chun that you may or may not have. If you have questions, definitely ask below. I can actually see it in the corner here. And so if I'm a little rusty, like I said, this is the first time I've done it in a while. Anyway, hopefully everything's well. This is like a difficult time for a lot of people. As far as we've been running things, we haven't really run anything. I've been doing basically everything through Zoom classes. And if you haven't done so already, on Facebook, I normally post. We've been doing it pretty consistently now from Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've been having Zoom classes. The classes have been going pretty well. Good turnout of people for the most part who are coming in. And it's 100% free. If you have questions and you want to train with us, we do workout. I have Q&A sessions in there all the time. So if you want to join us, you're more than welcome to join us in the Zoom classes, regardless of what line and so forth. Because Wing Chun for us is just doing our Wing Chun. Okay, let's go over some stuff that probably things people can benefit from as far as doing Wing Chun. Like I said, I think the most common thing with Wing Chun is the difficulty. What I've come to know over the years of training and teaching Wing Chun is the difficulty of understanding how Wing Chun is and should be as far as training and actual application. I've always talked to you about development and application are two totally different things, but even with the people who come on regularly, there's room for interpretations that can be misunderstood and so forth. So just to give you an example, okay, and I'm gonna this live session I'll leave it longer, so and this will be posted eventually. I think automatically once I end the stream and so forth. But let's give a perfect example of development and application where it gets confusing to people, and why many Wing Chun people don't really know what they're doing when it comes to actual application of Wing Chun and so forth. So let's take example number one. Let's just look at the punch. When we practice, me personally, and I think most people, when they practice the Wing Chun punch, right? You see yourself doing the full extension of the punch, 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 punch. So obviously, what you do and how you apply it, you would think, okay, if I'm in a real situation, I want to extend out my punch fully in order to use the punch in let's say in a self-defense or a fighting situation. Okay, but I think the way I'm approaching things now is the reality is when you apply the punch, and that's the thing, you see people apply Wing Chun versus something, you see people apply it and it comes out 100% wrong because this motion, when you practice, notice I'm doing a full stretch, right? When I practice this, that is 100% for development. And you have to ask yourself, what exactly are you developing? When I develop this motion, right, it has nothing to do with actual application, because when I develop the motion of this punch, I'm developing the stretch. The stretch means to loosen the ligaments and joints within the arm when you do the punch. And why do we do that? Because we want to relax the arm to be able to generate the maximum amount of power that I can send out and release. Okay. In the beginning, people are tight, they try to muscle it and so forth, but you're stretching the joints and ligaments out to be able to create the flexibility within the motion. But in actual application, if I was to do this in self-defense or in a fighting situation, right here, I would be, boom, this is where I am at point of contact. Look at the range I'm in with my punch. I'm not punching somebody here, nor when I make contact am I trying to extend out. I'm here. The moment I punch here, this is all I'm doing. Right now, it's very common in movies and other arts. How often have you seen punch through the target, punch through the object, punch through whatever you hit? We never do that in Wing Chun. You don't want to punch through it, because if I try to punch through my object, whatever I touch here and I try to punch through, whatever's here will be over there. So in other words, if I punch something here, the amount of force that's being sent and I'm trying to punch through it, I'll be pushing it all the way over there. He won't get the blunt of the 100% force that I want to give. Okay, so in actuality, you can see why people get confused as far as development applications. So we're working on this to develop the stretch to be able to eventually release the actual explosive power. But okay, sorry about that. What happened to my thing? So sorry about that. When I do that, I want to release the actual release the full power. But in actual application, like I said, from here, I don't need to fully extend it anymore. Through the development process, from here, solidifying my overall structure, once I'm in this position, I can release the power from this bent arm position. Notice it's not fully extended. It's from here where I can release the power. So you can see why people be like, and you see it in fights, people are like trying to fully extend their Wing Chun punch, and you lose the structural integrity of your actual punch itself. So it actually weakens the punch, and also you lose your safety net when you actually do the punch. Okay. Well, and by the way, if you have questions, definitely ask below if you have any questions, or in the chat that we have. So hopefully that clarifies some of the things. I'll give you another example. You see in the movies, right, the Yip Man series and so forth, or whatever, or even actually Wing Chun versus whatever. They get into a fight, and the next thing you know, Yip Man series is like this, and then we hold our guard like this. But and they end up standing in Yichi Kimima, and the reality is, once again, Yichi Kimima is for pure development, right? You don't stand, you never stand like that, okay? And I think what will help people understand this, imagine this. Whatever you're practicing, you have to ask yourself mentally and think to yourself, what is the overall skill or ability or superpower that I'm hoping to get from doing this exercise? It's not, I do this and I should apply it exactly like that. It's kind of like, I give the example, you go to college, you take classes, stuff that you'll never actually do. Ask yourself, what exactly are you trying to develop while in that school learning process? Because it's totally different in application. Because in any time you see someone, in a Wing Chun guy, if they have their guard hand like this and they're standing in Jichi Kima, I'm going to guarantee almost a 99.9% chance that guy will get his ass kicked. Because in actual application, actual self-defense, in the realm of self-defense in itself, how we apply Wing Chun, you'll never stand in that position. Yichikima, your main power or goal or main development is to control your center of gravity. And basically you function, your power is like a pinball, right? No matter where you're getting hit or standing, your stance stays vertical the entire time. So you can move bing, 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 in and out any position, and still maintain your center of gravity exactly in place, right? But the next thing you know, people are trying to stand. They actually open up the stance and try to stand in the Yichikuma position, and that's not what you want to do, right? You want to stand naturally. You don't want to show any guard. You don't want to be in any kind of set stance. Just a natural set position. So hopefully that if I can convey that, these are a handful of ideas. Maybe I'll give you the third one. Let's give a third one too. So that makes sense. If you do the punch, your punch develops one thing, application is another. If you do the stance, your stance develops one thing, application is also another. And the next thing is also think about Chisao. We work on Chisao is a specific hand drill that we do, right? Next thing you know, okay, this develops sensitivity, but this is a gateway. This is the closest thing to fighting without really fighting, because you're developing, once again, hand skills and particular things when you do Chisao. But all of a sudden you see in a fight, now, for example, right? If I'm in a fight situation, okay, let's say I get in the fight situation, next thing you know, his hands are up. Okay, let's just say his hands are up. And the next thing you know, I'm trying to go like this. I touch his hands and I'm all of a sudden trying to roll with him. Again, once again. And this is not to belittle the person. Everyone misunderstands things, misinterprets the application of things. I've done it too. I've had to ask my Sifu exactly how we do this over and over again. But think of exactly what you're trying to do. In a fight situation, are you trying to touch his hands or are you trying to hit the target? Okay, because if you try to touch the hands, that's not the goal. Your goal is to get into the fight, not to get hurt, and to end the fight as quickly as possible. If my goal is I'm trying to touch his hands, that's not the point. In Wing Chun, it works specifically, and I'll go into detail about this. It works specifically is defensive that turns offensive. I'll go back to that. So here's a target. You have the target there. I'm not trying to do a pak or a lop. I'm basically trying to go to the motion and hit the target. So when I hit the target, if all of a sudden something went into my hand, then you apply sticky hands for that split second to clear the line to hit the target again, not to touch hands with that other individual. Hey, Kevin, let's see. You have a question here. My teacher and I talk about that a lot. Development application different, exactly like you're saying. Thank you. That's true. And like I said, I get it. You don't have to be a beginner. You can be in the art for a while. You can actually be in the art for 10 plus years, and people get the misinterpretation of exactly why that occurs. Okay, why that actually occurs. So just remember the end goal as opposed to what you're practicing, right? I think in today's society, it's easier to say this. Whatever you're practicing, what's a superpower that you're trying to develop, okay? Sticky hands is not to basically try to touch people. Sticky hands develops a whole ton of set of skills that you have in order to hit somebody, okay? And then finally, let's look over one more aspect of that. And like I said, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. Wing Chun practices a lot of defense. Okay, you think, okay, man, you guys really focus on a lot of defense, covering the line, and so forth like that. Why do we do that? You got to ask yourself, why do we do that? Because in a fight situation, if the guy's punching, am I constantly blocking back and forth and blah blah blah? I'm not. That goes against totally Wing Chun theory. But ask yourself, what am I developing? Why am I blocking so much a good majority of time? But in real fight situation, I turn a full 180 and I end up doing attacking. Because if you watch most people, professional fighters, boxers, UFC, MMA, whatever, right? Wing Chun's mentality is this. We do not wait. If we decide to get into the fight, we go in. And why can we go in and not hesitate and jump back and forth? Because we spend an ungodly amount of time practicing blocking. So even if they're shooting the bullets at us, we're not flinching, moving back, or running back away. Our mentality is basically like in the jungle. You ever see a lion attack? Like the lion doesn't, when you see, I always give this example, when you see like two buffaloes or antelopes, they charge head to head and they're showing each other off and bumping each other. And then they take time and bump each other again, and then they battle and for whatever mating ritual it occurs. But what's the thing that they're trying to do? When the lion, he decides he wants to eat, he just goes in. right? And that's the mentality. We can go in because we developed the skill of not being afraid and knowing how to deal with blocking. So in other words, if the attack's coming at us, right, our mentality isn't, I'm going to pock, and or whatever to deal with the situation. Even the attack's coming at us, my mentality is not block, then hit. My mentality is basically hit. I use my triangle to hit in order to deal with that. I'm not thinking block first, then hit. I'm always thinking attack, right? Okay, so hopefully that clarifies certain things and ties in certain questions. Okay, so let's do maybe a couple more minutes of this live. Thank you for joining us. I know this is unexpected. If you guys like the live session, I can do this more on a regular basis so we can get a more up-close, personal way of doing things. And that's basically what we're doing in the Zoom classes. But here's an exercise. I've shown you guys this before, the 20 single man techniques. Maybe I'll do it up close so you can see. Okay, so one thing I've been emphasizing, the 20 single man techniques, if you haven't seen this before, is basically all the hand motion that you have in Wing Chun, which you can almost literally find everything in Sim Tao. That's why Sim Tao is the basis of everything that's important. So in this example, and I posted some of this on Facebook so you can look at it here. If you have your guarding hand here, right? 20 single man techniques, let's do a review of this again. And I've done this before. You have Tan, Bong, Lap, Pak, Lan, Bu, Jum, Wu, Hyun, Jet, outside jet, Gum, Bak, Pow, Gan, Ding, Han, Lo, Jum, Ka. Okay, that's the 20 single hand techniques and basically covers every direction, every angle that you can imagine in Wing Chun. Now, that particular exercise where I'm doing the 20 single man techniques, notice I'm not actually shifting or anything. The main thing that you want to remember, I stress this over time, and I think I've done this in past videos, is to cover the center. At no point in our Wing Chun do we ever expose the center. We always value the center, we always attack the center, but we ourselves always cover the center. So for example, I've said this before, if I do Tanza, right? If I do Tan, finger here to here covers my center. If I do Tan like this, it's off center. Why is that big of a deal? Because if you expose your center, you're basically giving a free shot to the opponent. This is the most vital point to cover as opposed to anything else, okay? So one thing to remember, if I do Tan, see, I do Tan motion here, right? Covering my center. Sometimes you look at the video and I turn, right? And people interpret it, oh, he turned, so it looks like he's going like this, right? But actually watch, I turn, here's my Tan, square on. If I turn, right, turn, if I go back here, I'm still in the same spot. So always remember that. Always never forget that. There is no point ever where we leave the center line. Okay, we may adjust and go with the force, but our retraction, our goal is actually to go back to the center line each and every single time. So when you do the 20 single man techniques in this fashion, right? Tan, Bong, Lap, just to give you an idea. Every single time I'm covering the center. I don't go like this. Tan, off center, Bong, off center, right? I leave off center, Lap, off center, Pak, right? I never leave the center. Notice from here, Tan, I'm still in the center line. Bong, when I go to transition to the next line, I'm still covering the center. Lap, still here in the center. Pak, wind up from here. Pak, Lan, here, still covering the center. Bu, Jum, Wu. You see, notice every single time I'm doing that, I'm covering the center. I can't stress to you enough that when you punch, even if you punch like this, look how I'm punching. See? Off center, right? But look, center, 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 okay? So I wanted to make that the main topic for today's live session. And if you have questions or comments, definitely do so and tell me if you want me to do more of these in the future. But that's the main thing. Cover thy center, right? Think of it, whatever is our main target to hit should also be our main goal to protect, okay? And then finally, just to go over, if you haven't seen this again, you have to understand development, application. Think, what am I developing? What's the superpower? And this is how I actually apply it. Not, this is the drill, this is the exercise, and I'm going to do the exercise exactly this way in actual application. All right. Thank you again. Who's here? Hey, Felipe. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? So hopefully you've been enjoying our channel. We're almost at 1,000, I think, subscribers. It's taking a while, but I'm in no rush. Everything's nice and dandy here. And the main goal is basically just to make sure Wing Chun gets a better rep and the training is done better. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoy. If you haven't joined already, Facebook, Instagram, everything else, definitely do so. Facebook 100% free. I will see you guys next week. Same time, either I post a brand new video or I'm gonna I'll give more notice if I do a live session. Okay, so it's up to you guys. Tell me whether or not you want to see more live sessions, and I can definitely set up things in advance for you. All right, thank you again. Catch you later. Find your Gung Fu.